It's all built up to this moment tonight. HB Park, the site of the first match of the final weekend of the 2019 season in the USL Championship. RGV Portland Timbers 2 going at it. I'm Chris Kovic, alongside me, Eric Dobransky, as we look over an exciting atmosphere here in HB Park. But both these squads, unfortunately, not part of the playoff race, eliminated a few weeks ago down towards the end of the line. But a lot of great drama, great action in front of us, Eric, as we approach the playoffs.
You're absolutely right. Even though both these teams are not a part of that playoff hunt, this first year of the playing game has been, it's caused so much drama and so much intrigue with the final week and the final weekend of play. San Antonio, New Mexico United battling for that last spot. A number of teams still looking to fight for seeding. Phoenix Rising in the West. It really ran away with that top spot.
Yeah, and RGV, the home team in tonight's action, of course. Unfortunately for them, maybe their best play of the season coming towards the end. They've won 3 of their last 4 and unbeaten in those 4.
They're the hot team right now. They're not in the playoffs, and unfortunately that could be really attributed to their poor road form. They're 2-10-5 on the road. They're 8-5-3 on the road. Really 6 points out of that 10th spot, and some of those road woes really would have helped.
Yeah, on the other side for Portland Timbers 2, very similar with this RGV squad in that different halves of the season overall, where they started great, 2 losses in their first 15, but their last 7 matches, just 1 win.
You're absolutely right, and it's an exciting team to watch. 64 goals, 37 assists. They're 5th most in the USL Championship, but defensively, they're just so inconsistent. They have that 4-1 loss against that El Paso team a couple days ago. They have the 2nd most goals against in the West with 69 goals against.
We're in store for an exciting one here tonight. One of those 2 losses in the first 15 for Portland was RGV. This Coach Echeverry and RGV, the home side today, sent off the fans cheering. We'll see coming up next, starting 11s, and of course, kickoff.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu. ¿Taquería Manu? Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer. A ver, dale, mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras. ¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico! Provecho, Bruce. Gracias, hermano.
Carnes marinadas, mi tienda de HEB, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
Welcome back here into HEB Park, Edinburgh, Texas, the site of the first matchup of the final regular season weekend, at least here in the USL Championship 2019 season. Taking a look at the lineups now for both their sides of today's action. And Erica, a little bit of deja vu for both sides.
Yeah, as you're going to see with Portland as well, both sides coming out with the same lineups they had. RGV coming out with the same starting 11 they had again on October 13th against OKC, a team that beat OKC 2-0.
Yeah, and RGV should be feeling good about that. And those 3 attackers up top trying to spread the ball around, move it quickly, and we'll see if RGV can do it today. Portland, too, on the other side. They've seen a lot of changes in their squad throughout this 2019 season, but a lot of talent as well in a 3-back system.
Yeah, going 3-4-3 see if it causes a little bit more of attack. But again, they've struggled on the defensive side. Kobayashi had an incredible goal against El Paso a couple days ago, so look for that, but look for a little bit more consistency from the back line.
Yeah, Jake Leaker, 55 saves this season, but 1 clean sheet. He'll be looking for a second here today. As we get set from HEB Park, look at the sidelines here in front of us. Cameron Knowles at the helm of Portland Timbers 2 in his second season, just like Garrison Echeverry. Our head official today, Lucas Zapola, as we get set. Whistles blown, and we're underway. RGV and Portland Timbers 2, both teams getting their final shot here at the 2019 season. Again, I'm Chris Bukovic, alongside me, Eric Dobransky. I'm excited to have you with us here from Edinburgh, Texas. 2 teams that certainly can get it done on the offensive end. The problem has been the defense here in 2019.
Yeah, and I think if you're Portland right away, you want to see how this 3-back system can really transition defensively, because that's where a lot of these games are won and lost, is how do you react to transition when ball is lost in the midfield? Does everybody own their role with that first ball press? Does everybody get shape support? So that's what I want to see from Portland earlier, especially when they have the second most goals against in the league.
Arriga's down to the outside. Here's Coronado. Move it around. And when you look as a coach at the 3-back system, is there any advantage you're trying to get out of your opponent tactically, or is it more just suiting your own roster?
I mean, I think moving forward, it's probably for them to see what they have in their roster and suit their own roster and see if this could be something moving forward. Because defensively, you're just going to worry about the space that it creates amongst the back 3. But you have those outside kind of wing backs from that right and left side, so maybe you can go score more goals. I mean, Portland's up there in goals scored as well. I mean, 5th in the league for goals scored with. Maybe you're just trying to outscore your opponent at this point in the season. Yeah, with 64 goals they've scored this season, in 5th in goals for. But so maybe you try to get more numbers in that final third with those outside mids. But like I said, I do worry a little bit about transition. Can you own the roles defensively, and see what you got going forward?
It was really helped Portland as well on offense, as we see Wharton giving up the foul. Their efficiency actually first in the Western Conference in shot percentage at 20%. Just a crazy number when you look at the scope of things here in the USL.
I mean, that's incredible. They had a 4-1 loss against El Paso a couple days ago, but it wasn't for a lack of the effort and the goal scoring opportunities. They really did create a number of opportunities. They had it at 2-1 at halftime. Kobayashi had a really talented strike early in that game.
Quick early touch coming from Leaker as he got it by Salazar back at the top, and he's won the watch at 10 goals this season. And you can see Carlos Small as well. And for Echeverry and his staff, it's been really tough pinpointing who they want to go to up top. There's been Carlos Small and Michael Salazar, who have been the go-to names throughout the year, but they recently added Obregon, who has 1 goal in his 3 appearances so far. He drew the penalty kick as well against OKC, and really that's fostered great competition in practice this week.
And this is going to be a matchup that I'm intrigued to watch with Small and Salazar. And I wonder if their eyes got a little bigger when they saw a 3-back system, and can they really be dynamic enough and see if they can move some of these defenders, because you're matched up 3v3, as you can see right here. Yeah, perfect look at that on the transition, but handled fairly well until the clearance as it goes out of play near side. About a throw-in in the final third for the home side. Anytime you can tell a forward that they have a 1v1 matchup, they're gonna look at you like, I'll take that all day. Usually a forward or a center forward is used to a 2 center back look where, they've got to try to, get by both. Now you got 1v1, and Small with 11 goals, Salazar with 10.
Ball sent in, easy grab there on that shot. Martinez getting some early looks, tied 5th in assists in the Western Conference, and also leading the team with 65 created chances. Leaker making start number 17 on the season for the St. Louis native. Spent last year with Real Monarchs, but of course putting on the green of the Timbers this year after starting 17 times, of course matching that total this year. So back-to-back years with the same start total. Pretty interesting there, as he'll try to get the clean sheet, his second of the season here today.
I think you really got a sense, talking to the coaches and really evaluating the teams, you got the sense that they have that feeling where some of their inexperience came in and really affected.
Ball sent in, headed on, but a good grab there from Willis.
Affected their season and affected where they are right now. Portland at 13th and RGV sitting in 14th. That inconsistent, that youthful, that inexperience, some of that plays in. And I think tonight they might want to try to wrap it all together and see, which team can kind of go into the offseason. They're both sitting at identical records at 10, 15, and 8. So whoever wins this game is gonna finish ahead of the other team in the standings. So you wonder if they're just trying to put a good performance together. I know when we talked to Coach Echeverry earlier this week, he wanted his team to be themselves, the aggressor, put opportunities away, and then really just add in that solid defensive component.
Beckford giving the ball away on the left side. Now the white kid of Portland moving from left to right. Will take the ball up. Through ball down the left flank. Cross coming in. Another one for them. Knocked down. Calixtro, but at the near post. An easy grab for Willis. Now Willis coming off of a fantastic performance against OKC, getting the clean sheet. As we take another look here, a quick spin by the youngster. Calixtro at just 18 years old, out of Cornelius, Oregon. Has put up 6 goals, 2 assists this season. Last 2 seasons with Portland Timbers, 2 goals. Building up from his academy presence in the Portland system as foul is called. This is back to RGV. But Echeverry told us this week in our conversation that, to your point, it's been about a lot of late leads given away throughout the season. He sees a lot of points left out there, but he feels this recent run, they've done better with that. But he also believes against New Mexico specifically that they could have seen more points. Ball sent in, through ball, but he would have been offsides. A small stood there, and it's back to Leaker.
And we touched on it in the open, RGV's record on the road in terms of being 2-10-5. When you have young teams, sometimes they don't know how to perform on the road. They don't, travel is new to them. Playing away from home is just, it's a little tasking for some of these younger teams. So you just never know, because as we did say in the open, they were 6 points out of 10th. They are eliminated from the playoffs, but that's 2 wins right there that might get you even to that 10th spot. And a 2-10-5 record is not, anything to be, writing home about on the road. Their home record's 8-5-3, so I mean they didn't really, dominate at home either. But obviously that was sustainable for the points they had. But you just got to get a couple more results on the road.
Yeah, Portland on the other side, pretty split even on road and home. 5-8-4 at home, 5-7-4 on the road as this ball's lofted left side. Portland getting a look, knocked down. Hurtado the strike, but it's knocked away with the deflection as RGV tries to get back on the attack. Nothing doing, kept in play along the line, and it did go out in the end just barely on the near side.
I think what's really fun to watch about this Portland team, and you'll see it as this game develops, and you'll see it, and it's very clear as they have 64 goals scored for the season and they're 5th in the league, is when they get that ball wide and they hit the attacking third, they get numbers in the box. I mean, they get tremendous numbers in the box, and they're so opportunistic. Again, I highlight the 64 goals scored this season, but you've already seen it early in this match with less than 10 minutes in. Every time that ball goes wide, there's 6 players in the box already. And Calixtro had a good opportunity early, so keep looking for those numbers, and maybe that's a part of playing that 3-4-3.
RGV back in possession, moving it down the field. As we mentioned, their defense has been the issue, tied 6th most goals in the Western Conference allowed, 48, bagging them this season on the offensive end at 1.5 per game. Get some numbers forward here. Only one near the box though is Salazar as they'll regroup centrally. Here's Small. Panamanian giving it out. Martinez through ball, a little wishful there, trying to split the 2 defenders, but it's lofted the other way for Portland. Coronado going after it. This headed out of play. It's a throw-in for the home side. Here's Martinez.
And this is where the 3-4-3 is going to work for Portland. When RGV has to build up, I don't want to say slow, but it is a little slower build up. It is a little bit more, you know, Portland can keep playing in front of them, and that's where this 3-4-3 is going to really help them. It's going to hurt them when it's a quick counter by RGV. And you saw it earlier about 4 minutes ago when they had it literally 3v3 with Salazar and Small getting in. So these are the moments where they're going to be okay because they're going to be able to get the numbers behind the ball.
Beckford, low driven ball and cleared away eventually. Dispay getting out wide there to get the stop off to try to make another here. Bird. Now Salazar knocked away, back to Bird. He's one of their holding midfielders, but does have a scoring touch. 2 goals this season, had one. Now Real Monarchs match, they won 3-1 after a really tough loss on the road, 5-0 to Fresno. And Coach Echeverry telling us this week that really after that the team met and said we're winning all the rest, and they stayed in playoff contention, and they're mostly out of it because other teams were a bit hot around them in the table.
It was so fun talking to him earlier in the week when he stated that after that 5-0 loss to Fresno. Obviously, no team wants to take a loss like that, but man, I think he was proud of his group being a bunch of pros and really developing that professional mentality of, hey, that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and win all the rest of our games. They did have that draw in the middle of that run, of that 4-game run, but they've gotten results.
Coronado, low driven ball back out wide, and the shot sailing high and to the right side of that post. That was Martinez from far out.
And these are always those signs of a team playing with a lot of confidence. When a player like Martinez can feel really comfortable taking a strike from about 30 yards out, and those players being really comfortable with that shot. Obviously ending up a little off target, but taking it one time.
Bird putting a little muscle into it, but it's back the other way with Portland. And Portland, as we mentioned, just 1 win in their last 7. The last one on September 20th, a 6-3 win over Tacoma. I thought they really needed to score in some of these results to get points. At one point this year, they even led the Western Conference. And I know that's impossible to think of with Phoenix's recent run, but it was before that actually, and Phoenix started it around that time. They were a few points ahead of Phoenix at that point early in the season. They only had 2 losses in the first 15, one of those being against RGV. But they really had their eyes set on a great season, but unfortunately with this affiliation, lost some of their key players to Portland Timbers of Major League Soccer, including Eric Williamson, who's still at the top of many of their stat columns this year, and others like Darren Esprilla, who had 2 goals in Portland Timbers' final game of the season, of MLS, I should say, against San Jose Earthquakes. Now Rodriguez, quick move, left side, cuts it in, good look by Small, he takes a tumble, and no penalty there, will continue play.
And you make such a tremendous point earlier. We have 2 affiliated clubs here with RGV, with Houston Dynamo and Portland, obviously being with their MLS affiliate. So you do run into those inconsistencies because you are working together. You are sending players up and really trying to develop those players for that next level. So you know, talking to both sides, it really does seem that had an impact on what they were able to accomplish throughout the year and the consistency they were able to find. But it just sounds like both teams were really happy with the way their young players are developing as professionals.
And that's one thing Coach Echeverry has mentioned to us in the past weeks, where they feel like they sometimes can get it going, but then can lose someone, whether it's injury or because of that case, and it hurts to see. But right now, this group has been pretty solid, pretty similar group since that Fresno loss a few weeks ago. They've been able to build on it now with their 4-match unbeaten run, trying to make it 5 here to finish out the season.
Yeah, and to add on to that point, you talk about 2 teams that are out of the playoff hunt, but they're playing for a lot. You know, they're playing for their career in terms of being on this USL team, and obviously still playing with the affiliate club because they do have that affiliation with an MLS side. So all these players are still playing. They still have a lot to play for, even though they're out of the playoff hunt.
Cutting top of the box, a strike, and into the back of the net. RGV, an exclamation point here in minute 15, and it comes from Beckford. What a strike from the Jamaican, getting his first goal of the season, and finesse at that, cutting in at the top of the box.
What a talented strike by Beckford. That is a left-footed, side netting finish. And this is what you get yourself concerned with the three-back, and it wasn't necessarily a quick transition, but you always worry about the support behind a defender, and you could see Beckford just get his head up, see that there was no support defender that was going to be able to either get in front of that shot or, you know, deflect it, and he took his opportunity, and man, did he parry the heck out of that.
Came over from Montego Bay United and finding one in the back of the net here for RGV in his 9th appearance of the campaign. Corner kick now, and Portland set the strike just like that. But RGV, it took deep into the match, past the 70th minute against OKC to find a goal. They had 2 in 8 minutes. We'll see if they can be a bit streaky here tonight. At first, though, they're going to have to defend this set piece as well, and Portland, a lot of big bodies that can get in there. Will be Wharton taking this 1 assist this season, but second on the team this year in created chances. Whipped in, headed on, and cleared away on a volley by Salazar. It was Calixto getting off that header. Now Farfan tries again. Willis a punch. Well, luckily for him, hopped right on next to him. Easy yellow card there to spot as Hurtado all up in the space of Willis.
I think we'd probably all agree 15 minutes into this game, each team's creating quality chances. Here you see the yellow card. You just can't do that with standing in front of a goalkeeper. And Willis knew what he was doing, trying to draw him in and draw that yellow card as well. But going back to it, 15 minutes in, both teams are creating quality chances. For two teams that are not in a playoff hunt, I've been very pleased with how open and how committed each team is to attacking, because even with Portland being down 1-0, they've created chances. And I still go back to that Beckford strike. That was a really good opportunity and a quality chance that he took advantage of.
Salazar. There's Martinez surveying traffic a bit. Through ball left side, but Coronado did not see it. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Leaker with that Select ball as he tries to rally his side up the field. After that bullet coming from Beckford at the top of the box, 1-0 RGV in the 15th minute. Test out the far flank now, Portland. Sarakowski finding some room. Portland trying to get the numbers ahead as they'll regroup at midfield. Small with a bit of pressure. Wharton. Wide to his left, again trying to work that wing play for a cross. Out towards the end line, puts it up. A bit deep, heads it on the back end, plays it over. Wharton the strike and the finish. Oh, what power on it. We're all equal here in 19.
So well done by Portland, and we talked about the numbers that they were committing in the attack, and that is an absolute example of what they've been doing for almost 20 minutes here. They get the ball wide, and they're so committed to getting these numbers in, and such a dangerous ball played in. It's so tough for a goalkeeper to deal with that. What a finish. I think Willis wants the play to be called out of bounds, but there was nothing he could do with it.
Todd Wharton scoring against his former club of 3 years. 6 goals for RGV over that time. but getting one for Portland here today, number 6, in fact, of his season. And we're all equal at 1, 20 minutes in. And you're a head coach, Eric. Look, talk about that hustle from Hansen, going to the end line, playing that back over, saving that ball, keeping the possession alive.
It's incredible, and it's something that your team can really grow into in terms of build off of. When you see a young player like that battle and he gets rewarded at the end of it with a goal and an assist on it. So you just love it as a coach to see it, because it really shows your players that, hey, value the details, and they'll pay off. You know, they don't pay off at a 100% rate, but in that instance, he saved the ball from going out of bounds, and he's got his team level at 1-1. This game has really built into Portland had been attacking, so I wasn't sure that RGV was going to hold on to a 1-0 win. I felt like both teams got a couple more goals in them, so I'm not surprised that Portland's put together a really good response here.
RGV trying to find their own response, get back this lead. It was the 15th minute from Beckford, but now in the last few minutes, one comes from Wharton on a volley, his 6th of the season. And we have an offensive battle early on our hands in this final weekend of the 2019 regular season. Offsides again called, and it's back to Portland.
I think that's the fun part of this game, is you just don't know whether either team's just going to throw caution to the wind and just say, hey, let's try to really go at this game and score. Portland coming out in that 3-4-3, and then RGV coming out with the same lineup that got him a 2-0 win at OKC. You seem to have two teams that are really interested in committing numbers going forward and scoring goals tonight. So I think we're in for a really good game as we grow into this as well.
Wharton, the goal scorer, taking it back. He'll work it to the near flank. That's where he'll find his defender, Smith. Working towards the end line, deflected off Rodriguez, and it's back with RGV. Or at least we thought, as the attack continues for Portland. They're small. Knocks it on, but Salazar didn't see it coming. He'll come back to it. Through ball ahead. Here comes Carlos Small. Plays it back over and clear with the opportunity. The unselfish play, but maybe should have made the selfish one there.
His coach is saying, why couldn't you have just been selfish right there? You could absolutely see what he was trying to do. He was trying to find Beckford on that run right there, and a good little win here in the midfield. Good ball played in, and you could see exactly what he was trying to do. He's got to execute it. Beckford would have really appreciated that ball in if it would have made it through. Get his second one of the night.
Martinez taking this one. There's 8 assists on his account this year. Knocked on through, still alive, but it's only Portland there, and they'll clear it away. You talked about it earlier as well, a 3-back system for Portland. Vulnerable on the counter, maybe. We saw it right there.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, RGV hasn't. I mean, it's early in the game, 23 minutes in. That was about their second chance that they really countered them quickly, and those come from balls won in the midfield. So there was an example: RGV wins it at midfield, and then they can break really quickly. So you wonder if growing into this first half and then maybe into halftime, they kind of realize that a little bit more and access the space that is available, because you could really move players around in that transition.
RGV back on the attack, but tackled away by Wharton. Here comes the counter for Portland. Sarakowski taking it up ahead. Not sure what he was trying to move there, maybe through the legs, the nutmeg, but he'll get back to it nonetheless and get a touch as well. Corner kick to Portland. Sarakowski will, in fact, take it. 2 assists this season. He's a 23rd pick in the Super Draft this year for Portland. 2-time All-Big Ten player, but he'll give it off to Wharton. In the College Cup at University of Virginia. So he'll move this near post and force a touch out of Willis. He'll punch it away. And here come the Jets. Rodriguez down the flank, he'll move it up ahead. Open run. The numbers back all that white for Portland. Advantage played. Beckford plays it, deflected. No, it will be a goal kick.
And that was a good example of Portland being able to slow that transition down, slowing the runner, and then even slowing the secondary runner as well.
And what didn't help them there was probably not the best attackers up the field in terms of that. Rodriguez, more of a holding mid out there for the squad, and as well also his teammate, the center back Kyle Adams up the field.
Yeah, correct. It wasn't your predominantly attack-minded players, but it was a good opportunity. But again, Portland did a good job really slowing that play down, allowing numbers to get behind the ball.
Tune in to ESPN3 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time for a special game of the week to close out the 2019 season. The home playoff match is at stake when Real Monarchs SLC hosts Sacramento Republic FC. The winner hosts a playoff match while the loser potentially goes to the play-in game. Catch all the drama tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN3. Part of really that play-in drama, and just from a coaching perspective, that's an extra midweek game, so you include this weekend, a midweek game, and then next Saturday, it's 3 games in 7 days for these bottom 4 teams in terms of the playoff race on either side of the conference.
It's going to be tough for teams that have already, I mean, obviously every team's really taken on a grind of a season. It's been a long season for a lot of these teams. This playing game really adds that intrigue and that drama of teams that can get in the tournament, but in the playoff. But it also really benefits those teams that take care of business during the season and don't have to play in that playing game and really have that extra time off and those higher seeds that, you know, they're going to get matched up with eventually. So really, it kind of worked both ways. It added that drama that you're getting here at the end of the season. And then it obviously benefits those top teams that really took care of business throughout the season and found that consistency and are either having home field advantage or, you know, going to see one of those play-in game teams right after a game, soon after a game.
Knocked away, a few misses there on the tackles as they tried to get after Sarakowski, but they'll reset at midfield. And certainly, I'm sure everyone around the league would love a good Cinderella story like San Antonio or New Mexico if they're able to slide in at the 10 seed, whoever gets it, win that play-in round game, and then take on Phoenix Rising, who will be coming up later tonight as they face off with OKC Energy, another unfortunately eliminated team here as we head down towards the playoff stretch. Portland 2, meanwhile, top of the box, Calixtro trying to work it on a pass maybe to the right side with Hansen. They'll keep the attack going as, again, RGV can't get out of their own defensive end, but a foul will allow them to do so as Hansen a bit too much contact there.
There's really no small build-up play from Portland. They're really being, and it's not direct because there is a lot of purpose behind it. Here's the foul and slowing up play a little bit. Hansen, but they're breaking good lines of pressure. You know, they're not really breaking, they're not slowly breaking down RGV. They are quickly breaking down RGV. Now, RGV's done a good job of getting numbers back and letting play happen in front of them, but you can really see what Portland's trying to do. They're trying to go forward as quickly as humanly possible with those numbers, with those 7. You got those 4 midfielders and the three forwards. They're really breaking it quickly. I wonder if the pace of this game is going to change a little bit as it kind of develops, because it is a quality pace right now. You have both teams really being purposeful in the final third and really creating quality chances. So I want to see how both teams kind of adjust.
Essentially, Sarakowski after it, but approached by Donovan. Donovan having a tackle won here, had a goal against OKC as well. And now RGV on the break, 4v3 at the moment. They'll slide it over. Here's Small, who at least get to the ball inside the box after the deflection. Small still cutting around, doesn't have too many options. Out to Bird, they'll have a strike, but a wishful one getting up and under it.
Right, there was their third counterattack, and now you've got to start realizing that it just requires a little bit more of a quality decision. It wasn't the worst of decisions, but as you start getting those turnovers and getting those transitional moments. Can you make that clinical decision that gets you the goal? And that was, you said it, it was 4v3. You know, that was a good little break by RGV. I was just about to say, RGV seems to be the team that's turning the ball over in bad places right now, because I think that was about the third or fourth time they've given it up in their final third, just kind of being a little casual out of the back. And then right away they got a counter. Yeah. So it was definitely an interesting sequence.
Small holding up the ball, trying to play it over to Salazar, but we work back over to Leaker. Near side with Smith, former U.S. Youth International. Now Dispay. Hurtado. Now Portland finding some room. Wharton. And stepping up is Smith. Looking into the box, maybe a cross to be played, lofts it in, but headed away. Donovan was there. And it's back out for a Portland throw-in.
Again, getting really good numbers in the box, Portland does. And going back to Leaker, I know he's given up a goal tonight already, and obviously it's not all on him, but I'm so impressed with his distribution out of the back. He has really sprung some of these counterattacks that Portland's got, got early. And he continues to see it. He sees the game really well right now.
Smith plays the ball in, knocked on. Wharton gives it off. Warren still trying to play it ahead. Here comes RGV though. Advantage played on the late challenge. Bird on the run. He plays it ahead. Another challenge maybe, knocked out. And this will be brought back for a free kick. Pretty obvious there on the stop. Doesn't look like we'll have a card though. Bird on the run again, and really it took a little shove there to end the attack.
Still, you could see RGV trying to figure out what the best decision is to do, to make on these counterattacks. I think going wide is not always the wisest decision, just because the goal is in the middle. But can you go right at them? Can you make them make a bad move? But this has been back and forth. I mean, it really has. It's been an entertaining quality game so far for two teams that playoff-wise have nothing to play for, but they are not playing that way. They are really playing wide open.
A dangerous set piece as well here for the Toros. And we may be seeing an early sub, as it seems our goal scorer Beckford was holding the back of his leg, which would be terrible end to the season here with such a great start for him, a brilliant strike. And we'll have to wait a moment here. A yellow card was shown at the end of things for that stop, which you can understand with the implications of where they were on the field in the situation. And will be a free kick by Martinez nonetheless. And there was Max Orenstill, former Santa Clara player in college, getting the card. Is Martinez over the ball. Lofts it in, Salazar there, headed on by Dispay though. Just in time, no, it is the offsides flag up. But for now, Beckford stays in. We did see Obregon getting ready on the sidelines. He's been a sub option the last few matches. 3 appearances, 43 minutes, and he's really ignited the offense when coming off the bench. Obviously, they're getting good chances overall, so we'll see how he can impact if he does, in fact, come on in the next few minutes.
And you got a good look at Coach Echeverry right there. He's got to be pleased with his group right now. Not necessarily extremely pleased with the decision-making on the counter, but those are things that, at halftime, you can make those adjustments. You can really point out those spots on the field that you do want to attack. But Coach Knowles for Portland's got to be happy with his team as well.
Yeah, fighting back, resiliency after giving up that early goal. RGV here Gotta find some room to work, but times they have not been able to break down this Portland formation when they do have possession. The counterattack has been more plentiful for the home side. Beckford losing it to Hansen. Out of play, it's back to Portland. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Willis off his line, picks up the ball, and keep in mind the entire weekend here of the USL Championship, final regular season weekend, you can find on ESPN Plus, and of course our game of the week. Real Monarchs and Sacramento Republic FC will be over on ESPN3 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time. These two doing battle right now, RGV and Portland Timbers 2, minute 36, 1-1. 2 goals in this match within about 5 minutes or less. And it was Beckford with a strike from the top of the box and then a volley, beautiful finish from Wharton. RGV trying to find the lead back here. Coronado on the ball, works it in, but cleared away by Smith. Out on the near side, it'll be a throw-in again for RGV. Salazar coming back, and the Ava Belize giving it off. Get right back onto it. Adams stepping all the way up towards the box. Salazar trying to get it back to the center back, but instead driven upfield. Portland back on the attack. Sarakowski. Hansen. Really a danger spot with Adams that far up the field. But Portland not able to get the attack going as they'll win the foul.
You could see both teams have players that are playing with confidence individually. You could see the ideas. I think some of the execution needs to be a little cleaner. But you could really see that both teams, and from Portland's side, I mean, they're coming off a 4-1 loss to El Paso, and just a couple days ago. So that, you know, RGV played on the 13th, Portland played on the 15th, lost 4-1, and they still look pretty fresh. I mean, they're really going at RGV, taking their chances. I really like the ideas from both teams. They really just need to clean up that final pass, that final idea. But I really do.
Orange all the way up, Calixto there, but tackled away. Coronado came in flying, and Rodriguez trying to spur the counterattack now. Small now on the right wing, exchanging with Beckford, who's on the left now. Give it off. Portland trying to do something that few teams have done this year, come from behind victories against RGV. They've had 1 against them this season as RGV, when scoring first, they're 10-1-1 this year, a great mark. But they do find themselves all equal at 1. Ball over the top, flicked on, Salazar's there, but the offsides flag is also there on the far side. It's coming back, and that would have been a brilliant piece of play from multiple players if they were able to get that done.
I want another look at this because that seemed like a well-timed run.
I think he wants another look at it too.
Yeah. It was a well-flighted ball in, and it looks like the run was. I mean, it's tough to see from that angle, but it seemed like it was well-timed. But we're always going to go with the referee there. But the chance with Calixto was exactly what I was just talking about. Good interchange, good link-up play by Portland.
And a poor play there in the end as it's Small the other way, knocked on, Salazar puts it over. Out of the hands of Leaker, and it's a goal kick as it was a poor play by Ferguson at the back, and nearly Small finding a finish.
Now this is what some inexperienced youthful teams do, is create bad turnovers. And this was a bad opportunity, bad moment for Portland. Unfortunately, Small doesn't take advantage of it, but well, they missed both chances. Good little take there. You wish Beckford could bury that one right there. But then going back to the Calixto opportunity, having that wherewithal and experience to know that, hey, you got to pull the trigger on shooting that a little quicker and not letting that defender get come in from behind you and take that ball. So going back to it, I really like what these players are doing. Just got to kind of put that finishing touch on it.
Now, Mitchell Ferguson for Portland, too. He's had quite the week for his squad. He spent last year with the Sporting Kansas City Academy, but new to Portland this year in their academy system. 1 goal, 6 starts overall for them. But actually, against El Paso, that loss on Tuesday for Portland, made his debut with the pro side. And Portland, too, played 6 minutes towards the end of the match, and he is the second youngest player to ever debut for Portland Timbers, too. He's starting here today for the first time. Great moment for him, but now a great moment maybe for RGV. No, again, denied by the offsides flag, and it seems like that ball would have been seeing a satellite there anyway. But it's coming back nonetheless, as the offsides flag has been an issue for RGV. That's number 4 at this point.
Now on this one, Small left too early. This was obvious. He left too early. Right there. Good run. You could tell RGV's really attacking Portland's left side. They're going through their right side every moment they have the chance to transition. Their outlet is to their right, and really either trying to find Beckford and then they try to find smaller Salazar going forward. So they've been very purposeful with what they're doing in that counterattack.
They're finding those 2 gaps out there in the back 3, and that's been the real key. These through balls the difference, as now Portland trying to get back on the attack. Calixtro takes it down, but smothered pretty well early on. Here's Wharton playing it on back.
Yes, I'm not sure that this is going to end 1-1. I don't know if, I mean, unless both teams just kind of run out of gas towards the middle or the end of the second half. This game is being played at such a pace that I don't see it staying 1-1, and I don't see staying a draw. Now, if both teams can't clean up the final execution.
Cutting inside the box, open room, puts it, and over out of play. It was saved in the end. And Leaker coming up big. I believe it was him shoving it over as Rodriguez, a great run into the box.
And this was similar to the Beckford finish where he just drives it across the 18. He gets his head up. Now Portland did a good job of closing that window and making it tougher for Rodriguez. You could see it. Portland made it about a 2-yard window that Rodriguez had to force it into.
Ball whipped in. Headed down, back post, it's in. Leading goal right there for Carlos Small, and finally, after all the chances, RGV strikes.
And you could see the first corner they had earlier in the game. You could see RGV was trying to do something similar and didn't execute it to the extent that they just did, because they did try to play that short corner and get a flick onto that far post. And Portland had read it well the first time. Here it was just really well executed. So well executed. I mean, that is well timed, good flick on. Very, very well done by RGV.
Number 12 on the season for the Panamanian forward. Now 2-1 in favor of the home side here just before halftime as well. Great momentum for RGV, and the pressure continues from Small.
And then if you're RGV, you're like, hey, we haven't even scored on the counter yet.
That's a good point.
We have 2 goals. Obviously Beckford going right at a defender 1v1, having a window to shoot into, and then getting one off a set piece. So I would dare to say that head coach Echeverri would love to see one come off that counter.
Foul called, and frustrations continue for Portland. And it is the goal scorer Wharton getting a talking to. But if you're Cameron Sauls heading to the halftime break, what are you trying to amend here with your squad? You're down 2-1, but mostly it's been on the counterattack where you are truly getting pressure.
They're getting fantastic numbers into the box. I mean, I think Coach Knowles has really got to harp on how well they're doing getting numbers in the box. Unfortunately, I think the runs have been a little flat going into the final third. They're all running kind of in the same direction. Nobody's popping out of the run and making it a couple more levels for that service to come in. So I think on the attacking side, you talk about that. Defensively, I would start worrying about this counterattack.
There comes again as Beckford causing the foul there as His opponent went down, and Smith.
And I think with Portland and Coach Knowles, you just stress that first defender for Portland has got to get there a little sooner than they have. And you could see the hesitation sometimes with that midfielder or that closest defender. They hesitate for that split second, and then RGV's out, and they're on the break already. So really stressing, hey, it needs to be a quicker decision on that first defender to slow that ball down and not let them out of their half, because Portland could get, they have another goal in them. They just need to find the second one before RGV finds the third one.
And Portland will be trying to find the second one for about 50 more seconds with 1 minute of stoppage time. And it's Ferguson on the ball. This pay out wide, trying to stretch RGV a bit. They're playing pretty compact defense right at the moment. Zarakowski now. Working against Bird. Chipped on, Hurtado, some room to work. Here comes Bird, though, and he'll get the tackle. Out of play, though, and it's a corner kick for Portland. That is number 3 on the first half. RGV struggled in a set piece earlier today, and these balls coming in. We'll see if Portland can strike again. It's Wharton once more at the corner flag. 8 assists for RGV over his time here in Edinburgh, Texas. Trying to find one against his former side here. Hansen knocks it on, flicked ahead, but ahead is what clears it, and Donovan. And that ball cleared up by Small, enough to bring us at the halftime whistle, 2-1 RGV.
And quality chances by both teams, and they're both doing it in different formations and in different ways. I've been really impressed with the individual play by each team. They really have good, young, talented players, just really need to be a little bit more clinical in that final third.
Yeah, we noticed this earlier. Beckford, something maybe nagging him in the first half. We'll see if he can continue in the second half, but a brilliant goal nonetheless, and maybe a goal of the week nomination here to start our final regular season weekend of USL Championship action. 2-1 at the break between RGV and Portland Timbers 2. We have some fiery offenses in front of us tonight. Stay with us. Halftime coverage coming up next, and maybe some more goals in the second 45. Stay tuned.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you, for life.
Shop online at birdogden.com. Pick out your vehicle and click Buy Now. Work your own deal and submit your trade. It's that easy. Shop now at birdogden.com. Daligas.
Boy, do we have a barn burner here in Edinburgh, Texas. 2-1 at the break, and plenty of chances for either side. But as we begin to enter our playoffs here into the USL Championship, USL League One having their final this weekend. Check it out. there. Gomez on to Bermudez. Bermudez puts it home. And Greenville scores.
Pepe going for goal! He's given North Texas the moment.
What this club is trying to do is offer a real sense of community.
But it's all about the process. Make sure you're doing the little things right.
We have a really strong locker room, and everybody really wants to do well for the club.
Good afternoon, faithful. This is a big day. This is a big deal for us. This is a win for the community.
You know, we've been averaging, between, I would say, 10 and 12,000 a game.
And it is a loud, boisterous 10,000, 12,000, and they love us, and we love them just as much. I mean, it's a reciprocal relationship at all times.
We never thought that we would grow this fast.
I have to pinch myself because, it sometimes seems too good to be true, but it's not. It's been pretty unbelievable, and it's been done better than I ever could have dreamt of, to be honest.
This is a club for New Mexico, by New Mexicans.
And I don't think that we're done yet. It's just getting started.
Welcome back here into Edinburgh, Texas. 2-1 to the home side at the break, and Mr. Turo certainly celebrating 2 goals small, and also Beckford putting them in the first half. But with that, let's move into news and notes from around the USL Championship, and it's all about the playoffs, really, down to the wire, and should be a fun one as well on Sunday with Pittsburgh, who is another hot team just like Phoenix throughout the season that now is finding their peak point. And of course, so many playoff spots that play around, adding so much intrigue, as you talked about, Eric. It's going to be a fun one this weekend.
Yeah, everything coming down to that final day on Sunday. Really exciting to see where everybody gets seated and what the matchups are. And the matchups have been so much fun all season. So it's only going to really add to that playoff picture.
Of course, all building to the championship final on Sunday, November 17th. You can catch that on ESPN2. Looking at some matchups from around the Western Conference this weekend. Of course, we're starting here tonight. Later on this evening will be Phoenix and OK, so you can catch that also on ESPN+. Game of the week action, Sacramento and Real Monarchs. Real Monarchs, another great affiliate team here. A lot of talent like Douglas Martinez as well. He scored a goal on his international side as well this week. New Mexico and Las Vegas. That's an intriguing one. Las Vegas, they're behind by 13 in goal differential. They're trying to tie up maybe for a last-second playoff spot, but they're going to need to put up a lot on Sandoval and New Mexico United at this point. Another look at our playoff bracket if things ended today. Here in the West, San Antonio and New Mexico really going at it for that 10 spot. Las Vegas shot from the outside maybe, but really the key is to be 6 or above, and you may not host a game as a 5 or a 6, but you at least don't have to play on Wednesday.
And then you look at that Sacramento Republic and San Antonio, the lucky person gets Phoenix Rising. The lucky winner of that game gets a hot Phoenix Rising team. So, again, intriguing matchups all over, and it'll just add to a fun playoff round.
Yeah, Lostos and Austin maybe in the other playoff round if things ended today. Looking at the Golden Boot race, it is a Phoenix man at the top, Solomon Asante there. But what really he's done in his MVP maybe appeal for that award later on in the next few weeks. 16 assists as well, as you see Rios and Ronzati there as well.
And I think the fun thing about all 3 of these players is they've scored timely and quality goals for their teams in terms of where their teams sit in the playoff race and in the standings. So they not only have an abundance of goals, but they also have very well-timed and well-earned goals throughout the season.
Second 45 coming up next, 2-1 RGV. Check out the highlights after this next break.
The more we are together, together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy. However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu.
¿Taquería Manu?
Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer. A ver, dale, mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras.
¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico!
Provecho, Bruce.
Gracias, hermano.
Carnes Marinadas, mi tienda de H-E-B, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
Welcome back here into H-E-B Park. 2-1 RGV at the break. A whole lot of offense chances. Maybe you could argue could be a little bit higher score, but see for yourself as we check out the highlights here from Edinburgh, Texas. And Eric, it was flying back and forth at times. Portland getting the numbers forward with the cross in play, and of course the counter coming from RGV.
Yeah, this game has not really stalled from the offensive side of it. You said it earlier, probably could have been a couple more goals on the board right now. And Portland and RGV have been very attack-minded in different formations and in different styles. I've been very impressed with their players individually. Portland's doing a great job of getting good numbers, and RGV here in the attack. I think this is the Beckford chance. They've done a good job of exposing space that Portland's leaving open and really having the confidence even here to take a strike from 30 out. I've really liked what RGV's done. They've started to expose Portland's left side a little bit more, their right side in transition, really finding those openings. And here's the Beckford chance where it just goes right at 1v1, exposes that window that they left open. Leaker had no chance at that one, that side netting. It's just so well struck left-footed. But really impressed with both sides of the attacking aspect. And RGV hasn't even really beat Portland on a counter. Portland's good numbers, they get a good service here, and then the effort here to keep this ball in. And Wharton punishes RGV and really makes sure Portland gets back on the board. And this was a quick response. This was about 5 minutes after RGV scored the first one to get level. So they've been on the front foot all night. Hansen does a good job of saving that off the line, and Wharton just buries it.
And keep in mind as well, 4 players in his way, he puts it at the right spot. And here, putting it at the right spot was Small along with Salazar.
We brought it up before the break, is RGV hasn't even punished Portland on the counter yet, and this is a great set piece.
And Small finding number 12 on the season, putting them in the lead. And you mentioned to me in the break, Eric, you wanted to check out the sets. Look how efficient these offenses are right now.
Yeah, and the possession numbers 50-50. And the shots on target, again, everything seems to be very even, just like this match. I've been very, very pleased with how these two teams came out and approached the game. It's been an entertaining game to watch. For RGV's last home game, it's got to be one the fans are enjoying.
Yeah, and speaking of the counterattack, you can see it right here. 5 offsides flags going up against RGV, and we'll see what Echeverry has in store for his squad in the second half. They look good at times, but that finishing not quite there on some of the counterattack as he'll meet up now with Salazar and talk things over maybe just before the start of the second half. Two teams that obviously not in the middle of the playoff race, but trying to end the season on a high note as we head into the final weekend of the 2019 regular season in the USL Championship. RGV has just been fantastic at home. The problem has been on the road, 2-10-5 on the road, but both these teams 38 points on the table, and we talked about it, Eric. You look at those teams in the hunt in the West at this point, they're just a few points behind them, so maybe a win or a draw here and there where you had a loss and suddenly you're in the playoff mix. But both these teams, with a win either way tonight, it would have been right by the playoff line at the end of the season.
I mean, it's got to be one of those things where you have young teams, and we talked to Coach Echeverry earlier in the week, and he said it, when you're going to look back at the season, you're going to look at some of those small points that you dropped, and maybe those inconsistent moments where that young team needs to realize you have San Antonio in the 10th spot at 44 points. RGV, you're sitting at 38. You're 6 points out of that 10th spot. That's 2 wins. You know, you just got to find ways to turn some of those losses into wins.
And for RGV, we're actually hearing a substitution did occur, and not a too surprising one. Beckford going down with that injury towards the end of the first half. It's Obregon that comes in, the new addition a few weeks ago.
Beckford did a great job in that first half. He was very dangerous, very dynamic. Glad to see that he made it through the whole first half. Hopefully nothing too serious, so hopefully something that they could just prevent it. Unfortunate that his night is done going into this last game of the season. I want to see if Portland comes out in the same formation that they started out with. I would assume they do. They come out in that 3-4-3.
We'll get a good look at it here, and it's a 4-back now, not a 3-back, so we'll see how things truly change as we advance into the second 45, 2-1 RGV and Portland 2, trying to make their stamp here in their final match of the USL Championship season. Again, I'm Chris McCovic, alongside me, Eric Dobransky. We're back underway. Small and Beckford getting the goals. The first half has something going on the sideline near side, and a player is down. Head contact you have to expect on the captain for Portland Timbers 2. Farfan going down, and checking on him is our head official immediately. And he'll be called off, but awkward beginning. Nonetheless, we're getting things going here on ESPN Plus, and Portland Timbers 2 trying to get back in this thing.
And you said it right off kickoff, jumping into a 4-4-2. I wonder if Coach Knowles saw something that I thought they had played the 3-4-3 pretty well. I don't know if he knows his team way much better than either of us do in regards to, was it too taxing on his players? Were they going to run out of steam and run out of gas there towards the end in the middle of this half? So maybe go ahead and jump into a 4-4-2 that they've played traditionally throughout the year, and see if they can find that equalizer this way and not have to maybe tax their back line as much as maybe that first half really required.
Farfan looking good out there, heading it back to his keeper Leaker as we're back underway. And RGV this season 10-1-1 when scoring first. They got the first goal before giving up the equalizer, and then found a second tally off of Small on a corner kick. Down the right flank, Portland Timbers 2 going through Hansen. Calixtra's right there as well. Ball back, Wharton slides it over, open opportunity. Zarakowski end line, lofts it over, headed back down. Now Orange still. Hansen. Adams got a touch in there, he went down briefly. And here comes RGV. And this is brought back, and kind of a surprising call, but you have to expect RGV is going to argue for the advantage played. Nonetheless, here's another look, though, on the breakaway.
You're correct. RGV is going to be arguing, hey, we fought through the first one. Why not just let us fight through the second one as well? It looked like they had a really, really good chance at a clean break there. They had good numbers in that transition.
And it is a yellow card issued to Hansen. Has one now to go with his assist in the first half.
And if you're RGV, that, you know, you're hoping that that happens in terms of you called back our play, you called back the play that we really broke out with, and don't stop it and not give Hansen a yellow. But even that play before for Portland, it just took too long to develop. It was a great little pass over to the right side. He drove it end line, and then he just kind of stalled it up. He stalled the play up. It just got to be a little quicker.
Coach Echeverry displeased with that decision, but back underway as Samuels will take it out of the back. Obregon with his addition, adding some pop to this competition for the forwards in practice, says Coach Echeverry, and he's really been huge off the bench as well, so a player that they've been scouting for quite a while. Played his college days with Siena in 2015 and 2016, putting up 5 goals and 3 assists. Has come off the bench 3 times, make it 4 here tonight. And has 1 goal to show for it, along with drawing that PK against OKC in the second half on Sunday. This ball back ahead. Ferguson will take care of it with the pressure up top. Coronado will take the throw in, the former Cal State Fullerton man. Here's Salazar. Bird. Lofted ahead. And through the legs of Small, not able to handle that one. Is back to Portland.
It's been less than 5 minutes, but both teams look a little sluggish coming out of that break. You know, maybe RGV's trying to feel out this 4-4-2 that Portland's come back out, and maybe Portland's trying to feel the 4-4-2 out too, in terms of how it works for them. But it's just missing a little bit of crisp play from both sides.
One player that's been hot in the second half so far, Rodriguez, who put on a few moves there, but his final pass not quite there.
I was going to say, right as I say that, Rodriguez goes on a 1v1.
Small and line, cross played in, but over everyone. Hansen's at the back there to take care of it. In fact, his touch a bit too heavy. Coronado will take it. Now Bird. Salazar finding the angle. Knocked away, maybe a break brewing for the white kit. Through ball ahead. Calixtro. Numbers back for RGV. The right side, Sarakowski, his attack gets stopped as well. 2 times in a row he tried to drive in, but it was deflected away. Small back on the right wing to start this second half.
I've really liked the game that Salazar's had tonight for RGV. He's the one that had the flick on the second goal for Small. He's really been patient throughout this game, and obviously Portland kind of giving up some space here and there, and he's really identified spaces that he can hop right into and cause some havoc, and it showed on the set piece, but he's been really good all night.
Dispay moves it to the right side. It looks like Orange still stepping up the field, maybe in a more holding midfield role, away from that 3-back look. As now Dispay and Ferguson at the back. A Farfan looking to left back look. Captain will drive inside. Hurtado knocks it back over. Out of play. And it is a corner kick coming for Portland. That's number 4 on the evening.
And let's see if Portland can do something with this one, because I think the other 3 have been a little disappointing in my point of view. They haven't really produced, and especially for a team that has really done a tremendous job tonight of pushing that ball wide and getting good runners in. You would expect maybe something a little bit more quality from these set pieces.
Ball whipped in. Knocked on. It would have been a volley chance from Orange still. His own teammate Dispay getting in the way with a headed shot. RGV wasting no time here in minute 53. Bird, the former Philadelphia Union draft pick, moving it back as Willis will knock this deep downfield. And Willis having a fantastic match in the clean sheet victory, 2-0 over OKC on Sunday. And he's a player that's really grown in practice, hasn't seen the field too much this year, as this is just his 4th appearance overall. He actually started the season opener, but didn't see too much time since then. And Coach Echeverri saying really it came down to a lot of keepers seeing time for the Dynamo coming with the affiliation. But he's shown it day in and day out in practice, and then it came to fruition against OKC with a couple huge saves from the match last week. Foul is called here as Bird bringing down Ornstill. Nothing crafty there from Portland as they'll start it with the short route.
I think one of the fascinating topics that might develop here in the second half, and you and I discussed the youthfulness and the inexperience that both these teams have carried throughout the season, is you go into a second half where maybe you can learn a lot from this. RGV, you have a 2-1 lead. You're maybe teaching your team how to close out games, how to win games. We talked about them being on the road. They're 2-10-5 on the road, and really finding that consistency, finishing out games. Portland, you're down a goal. So if you're both coaches, you're like, hey, Portland players, let's try to equalize and find a point on the road or get a win on the road. And then if you're RGV, hey, learn how to close out a game. So as this game, maybe not the 54th minute right now, but as this game develops, because I would dare to say that RGV wants a 3rd goal, but as this game develops, it would be very fascinating to see how these two coaches approach it. If it's just kind of a, let's just play wide open and let's try to both win this game, or do they want to have that lesson learned where, you know, can RGV close it out with 2-1, and Portland, can you find the equalizer?
Hansen takes it over, trapped in the corner. 2 players there, they'll steal it. It's Rodriguez again here in the second half. Gets around Hansen, he'll reset. Martinez after it, he'll tackle it over to the right side. Obregon takes it into the box, cuts back over to his left, fires but blocked by Farfan. And it's over to Portland. And Small not enjoying that one. You could see and hear some yelps from the crowd.
You could definitely see Small did not enjoy that one there at the end. Good build-up play by RGV. You talk about the effort that Hansen had on Portland's first goal. What effort by Martinez to get this ball across. Good opportunity here. You wish you really could have gotten the shot off a little quicker. And here, there it went. And then Small just kind of kept running back to the bench.
The Venezuelan Hurtado just having too much fun on that one. He had the fake kick downfield, then he crossed it over, and then he put it through his legs for a nutmeg.
And it looked like it all started with a little bit of a stumble by Hurtado.
And Small just had enough after that. So you guys have a go. Not sure. He's having a rough 2 minutes there. Lifts the hand there to try to stop the ball, but does not get the handball. In fact, ball was high enough in the air. Farfan left side. Hurtado. Samuel's barely staying in play. We're seeing more and more possession from Portland as we go on, as things have cooled down a bit here on the field. Both teams going at it back and forth in the first half, and whether it's tactics or something else, the game has certainly slowed pace, other than Portland seeing much of the possession in the final third of RGV. Rodriguez knocks it on. Driven down, a run after it by Small. Leaker will get there first, but have to play it outside of the box. Orange still. Just joining us, all 3 goals occurring in the first half of action. One just before the break by Small on a corner kick. Adams taking care of that one. New Zealander will play it downfield. To the top, and again, ball goes back and forth into the hands of Leaker. Wharton scored the first tally for Portland on a volleyed chance. Martinez, plenty of pressure here. Now Ferguson, Oren still. Portland finding some room. Sarakowski a turn. Now testing the flank, back to Sarakowski. We've seen this look before, but stolen back by Bird. A foul called. It's back over to RGV as Rodriguez goes down.
And you called it earlier. You've seen that look from Sarakowski in Portland earlier, and they just still haven't been able to produce anything out of it. Even at just a shot on goal, I don't know if they've able to get a cross off on some of these ones that they've driven to that end line, and that's got to be disappointing for them because they're finding the space and they're getting good runners in. They just need to get the ball across.
I'll give credit to RGV there. They've trapped down that look quite a lot in this match. Adams there and Bird as well. As Rodriguez will take it back in, who's been really the sharpest player out there for RGV in the second half. That ball out of play, nothing coming in terms of calls from our head official. And Portland on the ball. Hurtado on the run, bodied away by Samuels, and it's finally cleared. This will trickle out of play for a throw-in to Portland, quickly taken by Farfan. Hurtado, end line. Looks like it went over, indeed it did. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, you could see in the second half, RGV's just missing something. They're just misfiring a little bit. They're not connecting with their forwards. They're really not able to keep positive play consistent right now. And you could see Coach Echeverry is worried about that. He's trying to figure this out just like we are in terms of what changed. You know, Beckford's not on the field, but you still have another dynamic striker out wide.
Samuel stepping up. Former Maryland player in college. Down goes Salazar, Dispay winning it. Oren still, Bird, Wharton. No one seems to want the ball right now.
And we go back to talking about RGV just misfiring. And you could credit to maybe the transition to a 4-4-2 from Portland, but we're just talking about misfiring with not being able to complete some of these easy 10, 15-yard passes that are just missing, and some of these purposeful passes that they're just not finding right now.
Calixtro losing it, and Adams downfield. Obregon, through ball down the right flex, Small on the run. He's met by Dispay. Second run, but a tackle well timed as there was a fantastic potential through ball. Obregon was there.
And Obregon's done well coming onto this game and really not missing a step for Beckford being off. And for RGV, you're fortunate right now that Portland can't seem to break you down in the final third or your defensive third. They've been able to get that ball wide, but they're really just not finding that final pass. And that's a lot of credit to RGV. So, you know, can you still...
Apologize for the technical difficulties there as we continue in minute 62, 2-1 RGV.
You're right. Rodriguez for RGV has been fantastic tonight. He's very active, really wants to control the tempo of the game, and he has. So I was talking about Salazar earlier, and you made the great point with Rodriguez, and you could tell that he's trying to get his team to really get a footing back in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a response to the new formation for Portland, but he's seen a lot more opportunities on the ball pushing up the field. Knocked down, Salazar towards it, but so is Samuels. Will take it over on the heavy hop. Through ball ahead. Onside, Martinez in the box. Martinez threw the legs off the post and cleared. Portland with still life in this, dodging the insurance tally.
What a play, and here it is, your player Martinez gets through, just very unfortunate, gets it through the legs of Leaker, but it just takes a slight deflection and hits that post. And you're right, Martinez has been able to find a lot of these spaces now. Been very creative with it as well. And in that instance, Salazar dropped off into the midfield and then was able to face up.
There's Rodriguez. Trying to get around Farfan. Bird. Knocks it over. Rodriguez, the angle, cuts it back. Small. And cleared.
Geez, Small sent a ball with about 20 yards of pace too.
What a move by Rodriguez. Got some oohs and ahs, but fortunately not finding the chance from it. Hansen on the run. Hansen strikes it, maybe a deflection along the way, but easily settles in the hands of Willis.
Rodriguez taking 1v1. It just gets stuck underneath his feet. You really wish that he could have been able to get it back on his right foot and at least put something on frame. And here's kind of an easier opportunity for Willis to deal with from Portland.
Down the field, and an easy grab as well for Leaker as they were targeting Obregon. A bit too far on that pass here in minute 65.
Yeah, it looked like earlier that Salazar was trying to play a ball to Obregon, but he put so much pace behind it. I don't know if he was expecting that kind of ball. Deflected right off of him and kind of led into a Portland counter.
Dispay takes it in, and he'll clear it downfield. Setting this up into the air. Portland will be making their first substitution shortly. It will be Kobayashi on for Hurtado, so Cameron Knowles may be thinking that some fresh legs at the top might be what they need for the equalizer as this ball goes out of play. And a throw in on the far side. We'll wait on that sub. Up, there is the sub. Flag up, and we'll head towards the sideline, and it is Kobayashi coming on, native of California. 2 goals this season in his 14 appearances.
And you stated it earlier, I thought Hurtado had a really good game, but it all came from deeper positions, which if you're RGV, you'll take that all day, having a talented player like Hurtado really building from midfield to their own half. Now you bring on another exciting player in Kobayashi that had a goal against El Paso a couple days ago. It maybe feeling a good rhythm, and maybe feels it to kind of get Portland that equalizer. I really like the sub, even though it does bring off a talented Hurtado, a player in Hurtado.
Things opening up for RGV. Rodriguez on the run. Wharton behind him, tugs at him, but Bird gets possession. Bird might have been waiting for a foul call, but nothing came. And then the attack halts, and I see Eric frustrated next to me after all that buildup.
Yeah, a lot of numbers in the attack and a lot of numbers that are just standing. Nothing that, I don't know if they're just confused on what everybody wants to be doing.
Small takes it, right flank, trying to keep this attack going in minute 68. Tackle down and out of play, throw in.
And I think that's one thing that you could attribute that 4-4-2 change of Portland right now, that it's done to RGV, is you could tell RGV even in the first half is very uncomfortable.
Into the box, held up. Obregon fires, and it's saved at the near post by Leaker.
What a good save by Leaker there. What a good chance by Obregon too. But even going back to that first half, RGV, you could tell they're not entirely comfortable in possession in the final third when the ball has to be slowed down and Portland can play right in front of them, or keep the ball in front of them. So that is the one thing that 4-4-2 has done, that transitional moments have kind of dissipated for RGV. And there was the moment just a few minutes ago where they are in possession in the final third, and you could just kind of see that kind of confusion that lies over RGV players, where it's like, this is not where we want to be. we have 6 players, and I don't know where to go. We want space in to run in. We want small. We want Small and Salazar to be able to get into, Beckford when he was on the field, to get into space, so you could see how uncomfortable they are when they're right there on top.
It was a slip and a fall, and really a non-contact injury there, and you hate to see that in the final game of the season. Beckford went down earlier, and that's Martinez down for RGV, and a worried look from his head coach, Echeverry. He's such a key player, and key to the success in the second half has been Martinez and Rodriguez in the central midfield, but he's up under his own power, which is a great sign. Tune in to ESPN3 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time for a special game of the week to close out the 2019 season. A home playoff match is at stake when Real Monarchs SLC hosts Sacramento Republic FC. The winner hosts a playoff match, while the loser potentially goes into the playing game coming up on Wednesday. Catch all of the drama tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN3. Of course, also coming up after us on ESPN Plus, Phoenix, the top seed, taking on OKC Energy, and of course, it's a Friday, so that means dollar beer night for Phoenix, and there's always some magic with that, so stay tuned for that against OKC coming up next. Martinez back on there. Great sign to see. Still 2-1, all 3 goals happening in the first half of action. It's been a bit of a slower pace in the second 45 if you're just joining us. Ball knocked on. Here comes Martinez looking fresh. Ball whipped in, but Dispay a better stop. It's a corner kick for RGV.
Very well done by Dispay to intervene there. Martinez seemed to have had a number of options going in, and those are those moments that RGV is looking for, and that's really well done to at least get a corner out of it, but very well defended out of Portland.
Third corner kick of the night for RGV, trying to find that insurance tally after the post denied them moments ago. Here's Martinez. Headed up and away. There's Sarakowski there for the stop as Smith will knock it out, and it's a throw-in in the final third for RGV. Undefeated in their last 4 with 3 victories included. Trying to make that 5 to end out the season. A frustrating couple of results before this stretch against Sacramento and Fresno on their California road trip, but turning it into something beautiful with 4 matches unbeaten, trying to maybe guide some momentum into next season. Small losing it to Kobayashi, he'll get it right back. Here's Samuels, overlapping run, he'll cross it in, a bit too high as well for Salazar. Bird, Samuels, and Small all the way back now at midfield.
Just want to give this RGV fan base a lot of credit as well. You have a team that's not in the playoff hunt, and it's been a great turnout from the very start. It's a really cool atmosphere for both these teams to play in front of, for 2 teams that aren't. Obviously, Portland has a great fan base as well, but for RGV fans to be out and really supporting this club and having a great night on the final home game, it's really fun to see, and it's good for these players to experience that as well.
Samuels right side over to Small, trying to break down this Portland defense at the moment. Kobayashi, some pressure, so is Farfan. Small around the outside towards the end line, plays it over, but just outside the reach of Salazar. Salazar back on it, sizing up his competition over to the left back Coronado. Martinez trying to work the give and go. Quick turn, but it's right at Leaker. He'll make the save. Kobayashi, tackle from behind. Went out of play, it's a throw-in.
Yeah, Small hasn't been extremely effective here in the second half, and he has the game. He has what will be the game. I mean, in terms of what it is right now, the game winner for that second goal. But it's that special moment that he just took off there on the right side, and obviously that last opportunity right there was built up from it as well, because
Hansen, end line. 1v1 with Coronado, back to the end line, cross it over, but an easy grab at the near post for Willis.
Because he's one of those players that right now, he looks a little fatigued. He looks a little, he hasn't been very sharp here in the second half. So you wonder if he's one of those players that Coach Echeverri is looking to bring off, and Portland looks to be a little bit fortunate not to get a goal kick called. Nothing really developed from it in the end, with Willis getting an easy save here. But going back to Small, he seems a little fatigued. So you wonder if he's the next one to bring off. But then he goes on that tremendous little 40-yard run after that. So he's got a little bit left. So
a foul called against Kobayashi, a recent sub on for Portland, taking down Samuels at the back.
Yeah, just a mistime challenge there.
And what's interesting going into the mind of Echeverri is typically you have to assume he would have brought on in the second half Obregon for Small, but due to the injury to Beckford, he had to bring off his other forward at the top, and now stuck in a different situation where do I make the adjustment, maybe sealing it up for the win, or do I bring on another forward?
Yep, and fantastic point. Does he go ahead and bring off Small anyways and bring on a defensive player and maybe just go to a 2-forward set and really hold on to the 2-1 lead?
We may be getting an answer shortly as Zach Johnson getting set to come in, a fullback for this RGV squad as they give the ball up. There's Kobayashi. Small back.
Yeah, because you're gonna quickly hit that 80-minute mark, and then if we talked about it earlier, you have those younger teams that now can you learn to really kill off these the 80 to the 90-minute mark? Can you learn to kind of value those minutes there and not give up a silly goal here?
Excuse me, Zach Jackson stuck in my golf a bit. As Kobayashi cutting things up, deflected away, and RGV will find it. Martinez flicks it on. Brought down, and a foul is called. Obregon winning that against Dispay.
I can't imagine Jackson's not coming in for Small, but I could be wrong. I mean, Salazar seems to have managed this game pretty well, and then Obregon is really, I mean, he just came on in the second half, so I don't think he's the option.
But nonetheless, if you're going to like a 4-4-2 per se, you put a fullback, a winger out there, basically the same thing here where you're trying to lock down a 2-1 win, but
correct.
Still a very dangerous Portland side that could easily get back in this game as they cycle it near side. And Eric, we're hearing, is unfortunately wrong, and it's a different forward. It's going to be Salazar coming off for Jackson.
Man, I was looking for that one moment in life that I was right, but it is going to be Salazar that comes off. And like I said, I felt like even as he gets the ball right here, I felt like he was able to find good space to really slow the game down and really value those minutes.
Right now, RGV enjoying some possession, trying to stretch out Portland, and you mentioned it before, Eric, maybe learning a trick or two, a lesson here in sealing a game up, winning it with this professional passing.
Yep, they can't score if they can't win the ball.
Right now, Portland very stubborn. They are not breaking from the set they're currently in. Now Donovan, over to Bird. Rodriguez, Small. Back ahead, but Rodriguez could not get there. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Portland finally winning that ball back, and now back on the attack, trying to equalize. With that, an easy route to an RGV win, giving it right back to Samuels.
I could be wrong, just like I was wrong with the prediction of Small, but looking back, and again, Small does a tremendous job of getting out of that tight space right there.
Through ball down the right side, RGV on the attack. Obregon taking it in right side. Cuts to the outside, tripped up by Dispay. Near post, and saved there with a big left paw from Leaker. It's a corner kick.
And Salazar is sitting far post, wishing that Obregon had played it across. And a great build-up play by Small. Good individual skill right there. And he decided to take it himself, and you could see far post Salazar is just wishing that he would have tried to slip that ball across, and RGV would have been up 3-1.
Jackson getting set to come on. And now it will be Rodriguez. So now we were totally wrong on predicting the sub. It's not a forward, it's central midfielder. But let's give Rodriguez some great credit here. Fantastic second half to keep RGV in the lead in this match.
Yeah, Rodriguez and Martinez did a good job of really stabilizing that time frame where they didn't really didn't allow Portland to get back in the game.
Martinez lofts it in, knocked on, still alive with RGV. Donovan, Martinez, number still ahead for RGV in the box. Curled in, Salazar was right there. Samuels trying to save it. And can't, it's a throw-in for Portland.
But what I was getting at before Small went on his run over there at midfield was that I can't really think of an extremely dangerous chance that Portland had in the second half.
No.
I can't, yes, they've probably owned the possession time and the percentages, but I don't know if they've had a quality opportunity like they had in the first half. RGV's playing from the lead, so I don't really, because I don't think RGV really created many opportunities as well. Maybe that last one with Obregon and Salazar far post, but
ball lofted in and out of play. And to your point, looking at it now, for Portland, one shot, which was on target, but RGV, 4 shots, 3 on target, both of those in just the second half.
Yeah, and really all of them for Portland have ended just kind of how like that last play just ended up as a goal kick. They've lacked a little bit of that creativity in the final third, and you saw that a little bit in the first half because the runs, when they got the ball wide, the runs towards goal were a little flat. They weren't great levels. They weren't. They didn't really find each other and realize what spaces were not available. And then RGV's really sat back. Again, it helps when you're playing with a 2-1 lead. Going back earlier, my comments earlier in the first half, I really didn't think it was going to stay a 2-1 game as open as it was. But like I said, I'm just on a string of being very wrong right now. So, and watch everything, just Portland find the equalizer in another minute.
There you go.
And that'll just add to
RGV hoping you're wrong there on that
exactly.
one. As the ball sent down left side, but hops out of play as we're back in a stalemate in this match. It's a throw-in for RGV here on the near side. And both these teams trying to finish the season on an exclamation point. Here with RGV at home, they would be undefeated in their last 5 with a win or draw today. And Portland just 1 win in their last 7. As they unfortunately had a poor second half of the year compared to the first half. Hansen from far out deflected. Back over Colextro, what a chance! But saved at the post by Willis.
I think the cool thing that Coach Knowles is gonna have out of this game is what effort plays created, because an effort play, a tackle at midfield creates this opportunity. And I really like what Colextro's done all night. He just hasn't produced that final touch on it. But again, this play doesn't happen without an extremely good effort with the tackle and winning the ball there in a dangerous area. So I think that's going to be what Coach Knowles has going moving forward is like, hey, our first goal was off a great effort play by Hansen that got him an assist on the first goal, and then you almost equalize there with Calixtro from an effort play towards midfield.
The left back Coronado goes down here late in this one, minute 84. We'll get a quick restart here as trainer moves off the field. Whistle's blown. We're back underway, and Willis on the ball after his big save there at the post. Ferguson losing that one. Obregon. Through ball. Oh, what a great look. Salazar, but saved by Leaker. Still alive, played over, and headed by Ferguson.
It looks like Leaker took a bad hit there.
He's down now inside the frame of goal, but you could see Obregon really letting things develop around him, and then it was Salazar with a brilliant run through the center of the box.
Yeah, you think it gets halted right here, and then Salazar makes a really good late run. And you could see Leaker made a good save there, kept it at 2-1. Obviously, keeping Portland alive in this game is exactly what Leaker needed to do. Unfortunately, he's feeling that one. And you can see him and Salazar giving themselves the thumbs up, making sure Leaker's all good. But that's probably the chance that Salazar was looking for earlier from Obregon, being that far post, and it's nice to see that even past that opportunity, they did find each other.
Jackson getting knocked down. It's a set piece in the final third, one against Farfan. And it will be Martinez heading over to take it, leading the team in created chances and tied 5th in assists in the West. One-man wall, Kobayashi is there. Ball swept in, back post, hit it on and away. It was Donovan looking for his second straight match with a goal, but it's a goal kick instead for Leaker.
Now you're going to see a lot of urgency from Portland. I wonder if you're going to see a sub to change formation or change up the game a little bit. You're going to look at stoppage time and see how much time you've got left. But you still have plenty of time to find that equalizer if you're Portland. So there's no reason to panic quite yet. Unfortunately, you can't continue to give up set pieces and fouls here, because that's an easy 30 seconds every time.
A limited bench today for Portland, just 5 players available. Obviously, one already used in Kobayashi. One sub remaining as well for RGV. We're hearing that last sub will be used shortly by RGV. Kobayashi into the box towards the end line, but can't catch up to it. It's a goal kick in the end. We'll have a pause in the action with the sub coming on. Salazar will be making way in the end for David Cabrera, making his 5th appearance of the season.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kobayashi really hasn't made maybe the impact that Coach Knowles was looking for that Portland team. He really hasn't found the ball in those dangerous opportunities in that final third. But like I said, there's still time here.
And Salazar, very hungry tonight, but just could not find one. He did get the assist on the small tally, though, a little flick on the corner kick. So now Ferguson youngster, his second appearance overall, a start on the road. He'll make way for Duran. Duran will be celebrating his birthday shortly on Halloween. And his third appearance overall this season. And Portland, see how much stoppage time we'll have. Shouldn't be too much, but dying moments here, trying to equalize. Both these teams entered the day at 38 points on the table.
Trying to see where they moved small on the field. If they dropped him, if they moved him centrally.
Jackson playing high up on the right wing. Very small.
Yep.
Wharton, goal scorer in the first half for Portland. They'll win a foul on a handball, and this a key opportunity for the away side.
Portland's typically gone short on some of these set pieces. I wonder if this one's they're just going to chalk up to, hey, we need to put this in the box.
Wharton will have a look, through ball right side, maybe a bit too far. Smith, service in, knocked away by Adams. Big stop there, but there was a foul as well in the 50-50 ball.
Now that was a clever set piece. That was well done. It was a good ball played wide. Like you said, maybe put a little too much on it, and he had to catch up to it first because it didn't look like he was able to put the kind of service together that you typically want on that. Maybe drive that in, because then you already had RGV going back to their own goal. You know, maybe you get lucky and maybe one of them puts it into their own goal. But when you loft up a ball like that, you know, you're going to have a number of RGV defenders able to win it, and you ended up fouling yourself. So
Martinez gives it right back. And we'll have a good bit of stoppage time at 4 minutes here at HEB Park. And Portland, obviously, plenty of time. Maybe find the equalizer in this one. Wharton right side, deflection along the way. Leading Hansen on. Hansen into the box, plays it over, but stopped again. It's Adams once more with a big-time defensive play. Ball lofted, small on the run. Met by Dispay. Cuts back over to his left. Not many options in front of him, though. Plays it over. Headed down by Farfan. This will trickle out of play. It's a throw-in for RGV, and clearly they'll take their time.
Oh, Portland got RGV off the hook right there. I don't even understand how that play developed for Portland. And all of a sudden, Portland's into the final third, into the 18. And Hansen just doesn't follow it up with that clinical idea and that creative idea. But that kind of goes to where this Portland side has been this second half. Really just not, or even the whole game, really just not finding that final decision that was going to get him a goal. And now RGV is going to be able to just try to kill this game off with taking it to the corner.
Out of play. Portland, about 2.5 minutes left. Leaker getting numbers forward. Samuels. A tricky move there, but it's kept in play by Kobayashi. Line knocked out. And it goes to Portland. Ball swept over. Martinez. Going down there was Obregon. As we brought back to midfield.
I just felt like in the first half, Portland was able to really isolate their talented players 1v1, and they were really able to get those matchups they wanted, which created a number of dangerous chances. And then when they made this switch to the 4-4-2, and I'm not saying they played it poorly, because neither team has scored. They really were able to control the tempo of the game in terms of the possession side of it. But it doesn't seem that it really develop those 1v1 matchups that 3-4-3 looked, that look created in that first half. So, you know, it took away a little bit from the creativity part of it, but you know, you still have a little bit over a minute.
Dispay there, yellow card, have to assume for dissent after that play. Calixtro left side, some open room for him, met by Donovan, the center back. Calixtro moving it in, headed on by Kobayashi, but the wrong way. Hansen trying to get the attack going again as we're under a minute left in our stoppage time period. Open look coming, Duran takes the shot, but it's off Adams. And one final chance maybe brewing for Portland too, and it comes on a set piece.
This is what you want if you're Portland.
Wharton at the corner flag where he's been all night. Lofts it in. Knocked on, Willis right there, but it's over the crossbar. Goal kick, RGV.
Got to be able to drive this far from, you know, the far post. But it's tough with a ball kind of floated in there. You get on the end of it, you're trying to drive it back maybe to the face of the 6 so that somebody else can get it, because it's going to be a little tough to beat the keeper with that pace. And if you're RGV, you're thinking this game is pretty much over after this goal kick.
Bit more time maybe here as Portland driving it down. There's Willis, an awkward kick, but he does clear it in the final third. Kobayashi. Still Kobayashi. Cross in, Willis the punch away. Second go of it stopped. Stays alive for Portland, Hansen. And Willis grabs it. What a finish. Final chance by Portland. But it's 2-1 RGV. The halftime scoreline stays true. And RGV finishes off the season with a win.
Way to make it interesting here at the end. Willis punches it out. Portland here given a couple opportunities to equalize. Even though the pace slowed down there in the second half, I really did enjoy the quality of this game. Both teams really showed what they're building on and the players that they have to build going forward.
2-1 RGV, and they're celebrating here at HEB Park. 5 consecutive matches unbeaten to finish the season, and we'll recap it coming up next. Winners, RGV, 2-1.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Welcome back here in HEB Park. Small and RGV celebrating a 2-1 victory, 5 unbeaten to end the campaign here in 2019. With that, let's check out some highlights here from our match tonight. A very exciting first half. Eric, and both teams really locked down tactically in the second half.
Yeah, it was really wide open in that first half, and both sides creating quality opportunities, really being clinical. And here's the Beckford finish, putting it right on his left foot. No doubt about it. He took on a little bit of an injury, so he had to come off in that second half. and even Obregon came on and was dangerous for RGV. And here was Portland. They got such good numbers. They started out in that 3-4-3 formation in that first half, and you could see what they were trying to do. And here's the effort by Hansen to keep that ball in, and Wharton burying it there. And then we felt like that was the turning point where this game was going to even open up even more than what it was, because that had tied it up 1-1 so shortly after RGV took the lead. And then it started to, in the run of play, both teams kind of started to find their footing defensively, and it took an RGV corner kick here. Salazar to Small, the little flick on, and RGV had tried to run this set piece even earlier in the game and didn't get quite a quality flick on as it did in that one, so Small got his 12th of the season there.
Yeah, in the second half, things building still at times. These through balls were key for RGV.
And this was probably one of two really good chances RGV had, and really unfortunate that you get right between the legs of Leaker Martinez, and it still just, it kind of kissed the heel of Leaker there at the end, and it hits that post, because that would have been game over 3-1. RGV would have been really more comfortable. And then Small, you know, he did a good job of really getting out of tight spaces throughout this entire game and opening up this game. Great ball into Obregon, and this is where Salazar really wanted it far post. You could see Salazar on that far left post. Obregon decided to take it himself, and you kind of see Salazar with his hands up there, really wanting that driven ball.
And with that, all 3 goals enough in the first half to finish off a 2-1 scoreline. And here's a look at our stats at this point, and both teams really even on shots on target at halftime, but the difference really RGV keeping up the pressure in the second half.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by the possession percentage in terms of I felt like Portland had a little bit more percentage, but in terms of possession, but RGV did a good job at the end there in that last 15 minutes to really control the tempo and really slow the game down so that they could preserve a 2-1 lead.
So a fantastic match tonight here in Edinburgh, Texas. Maybe some more great USL Championship action coming your way next on ESPN+. It's Phoenix Rising, another Friday beer night there over in Arizona, taking on OKC Energy. Phoenix know where they are, but maybe see how good their form is coming up next on ESPN+. Well, thank you for joining us here for our USL Championship action between RGV and Portland Timbers 2. Mr. Toro's happy and Small. Let's be happy that man too, the head man, Echeverry. What a finish on the season for RGV. For our entire crew alongside me, Eric Dobransky, thank you for joining us for tonight's USL Championship action. RGV 5 unbeaten to end the season, maybe entering a high note to their next campaign. Stay tuned for more USL Championship action coming up all weekend on ESPN Plus and Game of the Week on ESPN 3.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.